Going on.
Well,
oh no, another crash and it's upside down. We've got a car upside down. It's Marco Andretti.
The back, everybody weaving back and forth, and there you can see Marco Andretti went from being on the right-hand side of the track for us and started to move across and ended up starting to catch some wheels, probably with Buddy Rice, Rusty.
The 2%. Oh, a car to the wall. We saw that car pushing. It simply did not steer in a second yellow of the afternoon. Kanan is coming in. Kanan is in the pits.
Or is that John Andretti? Might be. Oh, here's the yellow. This is Milka Duno.
Let's watch the replay.
Oh, she lost
it very early in the corner.
Wow. I'm not sure what happened there, but she was way, way low going into that corner. And
And a second, third yellow of the afternoon.
Somebody else. Oh, you just got, again, right side tires in the gray. Right side tires in the gray, trying to get up out of the way. And once you get up there, get those marbles on there, that car just absolutely will not turn. Almost an identical, whether you want to call it a mistake or almost an identical incident to what happened to Roberto Moreno.
We mentioned Poncho spotting for Milka Duno. His son Cole
It's already high up into the gray, up into the marbles, being forced up there. He will start to spin around. Sarah's running the normal line and then turns around, collects her. Now Sarah should have seen that he was up there, maybe did not anticipate him coming down and having the back end spin out like
It's
that.
something we saw that too late. We need to. Then also, Bilger comes. Oh no, Justin Wilson into the wall. Oh, he.
Just one of those ones where the car might be a little bit light on the back end and maybe just enough the turbulent air from the cars in front just to sort of walk the thing around. You know how, Eddie, you're sort of on the very edge there.
Does make the pass. Oh no, and a car into the wall.
The Firestone Indy Lights car, and you can see that, as you mentioned, Eddie, he's well off of line and off to hit the way to the entrance to pit lane. It was scary.
All right, take another look as, he had brushed the wall coming out and then comes across the track and tags the inside wall on pit lane. Oh, took out the speed limit. Oh, that'll make everybody happy as far as coming into pit lane.
Wow, he's lucky he didn't take anybody else out in the process when he hit the wall off of 4. We've seen this numerous times today, up into the gray.
Oh no, crash, a hard hit. Our fourth yellow here on lap number 80. And that is the 34 of Jamie Kamara.
On the car, looks like he gets to the middle of the turn and just starts to go off towards the outside wall. Get another look at it here.
Went in too high.
And there again, up into the gray, into what we call the marbles.
Little pit light has just come out, and we have a car into the wall.
Understand what happens to a race car over time. Now, you know, he was online on the entrance to the turn.
Scott, here you go. Oh, no, we have a huge crash. And a second contact. And it looks like it is Tony Kanan.
That was a big one. He's fine.
He is fine. Let's go on board. Just listen in.
Oh, something broke on the car.
Something absolutely broke and put
And
the
here's
car
the
to
bad
the wall.
hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the second hit was even worse. Take another look. Well, that's the end of it right there.
It could be a drive shot. It just turned sharp right.
Yeah. This plays into the hands of one Dario Franchitti, who had fallen back by about 15. Oh, we've got a crash in the short shoe. 2 cars into the wall.
Start to see the car on the inside moves up just a little bit too much. The spotter should have been telling him there's a car on your high side.
All has a
Oh, and we've got another crash here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And that is the 21.
4 that we're looking on, they both look just a little bit high. And I'm not sure that there's any problem there, with the exception, Eddie, that he's just off of line and just a little bit high getting through the turn. Destroyed, but you can see Mike moving inside the car. He's going on the inside of Brian Hunter-Ray. This reminds me almost of Dan Weldon's crash here in turn 3 and 4 quite a few years ago. And the car is up into the fence, which is almost reminiscent of Kenny Brack's accident at Texas quite a few years ago, guys. Very, very lucky.
You know, he was incredibly.
We got a problem in the north end. It appears to be Sebastian Saavedra. In fact, it's in the south end. Jake Queer, let's go to you. Yes. We got a problem on the front straight. Car on the wall. It's one of the Penske cars. It is Ryan Briscoe. He had just completed his pit stop, and Briscoe has big problems with the right side of the car.
Everybody
safely through number 2. Elio Castroneves with Dario in tow in turn 3, and an incident in the middle of the straightaway, Mark James.
So we've got a yellow in it's Rafa Matos, the driver that had just had the problem on pit lane. Rafa, who wound up in the wall last year, such an incredible disappointment as he was running in the top 3. Just like that in the opening 8 laps of the Indianapolis 500, we have our second caution, and one of the fast cars has been taken out of the field. Bruno Junqueira, well, by golly, the guy had been so fast in so few laps here, and
trouble. John Andretti's in the wall. John Andretti just hit the wall. Oh, John Andretti just.
This kid's been fast, and just as we say it, he loses it. The back end comes around. Mario Moraes makes contact on the right.
Yellow. We have a crash on the course. Yellow. Turn 1. Backed right into it and then slapped the wall. And this is not good. Sebastian Saavedra, who.
Yellow flag, Tony Kanaan spun contact with the safer barriers. Tony Kanaan out in the 11T.
Oh, problem for Tony Kanaan, a big hit. So Tony Kanaan in the south end of the racetrack, he has made contact, and the qualification attempt has come to an abrupt end for Tony Kanaan in the Team 711, number 11 machine. What has not been a good day for Andretti Autosport gets a little bit worse.
Under a yellow flag for
corners. J.R. Hildebrand. Careful of traffic. He's got to get around the lap. Traffic. What I think he's running out of fuel. No! He hit the wall. Oh, just like Thomas Schechter. Keep just your like foot on the gas. Dan Weldon is going to win the race. Yeah, Dan! That is unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
Multi-car incident of the day involves Townsend Bell and Ryan Briscoe. They got hooked up in turn number 1. Looked like they might be able to stay off the wall, but then they both slid out. Gravity just pulled them centrifugal force.
And a big crash down in turn number 1 down here.
Looks like it is the driver from Venezuela making his 4th start here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we are under caution for our 2nd time in 7 laps.
Here's a replay. Up in the marbles and spanked it right there. He smacked right into that.
And we have a yellow. A car into the wall. It's the number 20 car, Patrick Carpenti.
Lotus entry is out of the 100th anniversary running of the Indianapolis 500.
Oh, we've got a yellow on the racetrack and a spin. Charlie Kimball.
And the 3rd lap at 223.599.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, a problem. Oh, big time hit for Brian Clausen. This is our. Then as the car started to spin, and then he made contact with the attenuator, spun him the other way. That was a pretty crazy ride there for him.
That was, because you're right, as we got a look at the replay, did not hit anything in the turn, but just lost it coming out of that apex.
Wow, it's going to be interesting.
Said Texas, and he was the fueler. Oh, trouble on the track, guys.
A huge crash on the track. here at Indianapolis.
Lane, he's actually slow on the track. Looks like he's having problems with the car, Eddie. It's just loose on him. And you know something? Will Power's coming from behind. He is just going to end up taken out.
He had nowhere to go. Will Power had absolutely nowhere to go. And look how the car turns into. That's the worst angle that a car can take.
Well, just remember a few years ago, it was a
Crash in turn 1.
and as he does that, we saw the same thing with Ed Carpenter. Gets those inside wheels on the white line, loses the grip. He knows he's lost it. He locks the wheels up and impacts the safer barrier on the right-hand side.
Just into one. Santos taking a peek.
Inside. Keep going. Keep going, buddy. Yellow.
The yellow is out.
Should have waited till coming out of 2.
At this stage. Whoa, a leg wiggle there. Look out. Spin. Going into the wall.
Just locking up the brakes on the way in, crashes by himself. That's why he was so mad when we saw him pulling into his pit box. For a rookie, though, it's going to be...
Whoa! Trouble back in the pack and contact into the wall, and we're going to have a caution.
We've seen a lot of that today.
And you know, Eddie, when that happens, you're trying to catch the car, you get behind it on the steering, and then at over 200...
Если это происходит по инициативе пилота или команды, здесь у нас очень серьезно разбитая машина. На шва, итак, смотрим. Вот то же самое здесь было 1 в 1 у Курта Буша на практике в понедельник. Резко заскользила машина на выходе из второго поворота. И буквально за 25 кругов до финиша. И сразу же авария здесь. Джеймс Хинчклифф и Эд Карпентер. Белл принимал рестарт здесь в первой четверке, но до контакта дошло между ним и Хинчклиффом. И в итоге... Райан Хантер-Рей сейчас продолжает лидировать, и разбита машина у Скотта Диксона. Очень серьезная авария. Вот они, накаляющиеся страсти к концу гонки. Очень серьезно разбит.
Just out of my view in turn number 2. Car number 83, that is Charlie Kimball, of course, in that Novo Nordisk flex pin machine.
Backstretch they go. Oh, crash. Turn 2, we got a crash.
What we can see, and he's already turned there. Jack Hawksworth, rookie for Brian Herta Autosport.
Trouble! Hard crash.
First car in line, Coletti.
First crash also.
Bottom of the screen, Hawksworth
might have hit the car in front of him, and that caused him to spin.
I think he did actually make contact with, I believe that's Saavedra, and sent them both going into the wall. See, Saavedra still got his foot on the gas because he knows he's going towards the wall, so he put his foot on the gas, try and make the tires spin to lessen the impact at the last moment, then put his foot on the brakes. But that is a hard hit. That's just the mistiming from the 41, Jack Hawksworth, and that ABC machine just clipping the back of Saavedra.
And what's really good is all the cars stayed on the ground.
Tires.
Oh, trouble! Kanaan! That was Tony Kanaan into the wall. Hard crash for the former winner.
Everything looks to be okay, and guys, I got to tell you, that car just looks like it didn't have enough downforce, maybe a little bit loose on the back.
Oh, crash!
On the outside's the 14 at Takuma Sato. Now Sage Karam does not expect him to be on the outside, so he's trying to give some, and we talked about confrontational passes. The 20 of Ed Carpenter gets underneath the 32 of Servia and just leaves it a little bit too late. Now let's ride along and see it. Surprises Servia. He comes down, clips the nose of him. Remember, we had something like that last year with James Hinchcliffe. Into that gray section, you lose all grip there. There's no black, there's no rubber, and then he just loses grip, goes up into the wall.
Down in 5th gear, and I thought that was checked up enough, but I caught them very quickly. And then I thought I'd held it, and